Glasgow, Scotland's largest city, is the home of the University of Strathclyde, one of the United Kingdom's leading universities. Founded in 1796 as Anderson's Institution, it became the University of Strathclyde in 1964. Situated in the city centre, the university has a strong Scottish perspective and fulfills its founder's vision that it should be a place of useful learning.
Well, I first heard about Strathclyde University from my brother, actually, when he was coming over here to do his degree, in production engineering. And then, and that was when I was still doing my O-levels. So, I tell myself that one of these days I'll come over as well,
I was very welcomed, really very well welcomed when I came, and I found the facilities were quite good here. So I was pleased to stay and do my PhD here.
In recommending somebody who wants to come to Strathclyde University, I would definitely stress, the academic standards. I think the academic standards are very good. They're quite excellent.
The academic reputation of the University of Strathclyde as a technological university is well known worldwide in business and humanities, as well as science and engineering. Its facilities allow the highest academic standards to be pursued in an atmosphere of cooperation and hard work, and with a constant awareness of the needs of today's society.
The teaching staff here is, is very helpful, actually, like in terms of tutorials, you get all the helps you want, even if after the tutorial you couldn't get them during the tutorial session, you could see them in the office. They are very willing to give you a hand in your problems, solving your problems.
There is an element of independence, stress, which gives you much confidence in your area as well.
Again, it's very good because you can ask the people around you. Nobody will hesitate answering your question. So I think it's quite good.
There's a river.
The university provides specialist English language tuition as part of the academic fees package. This enables students from overseas to reaffirm their English prior to and during the academic year.
These are connected by railroad.
Accommodation, probably one of the most important concerns for a new student, is of a high standard at Strathclyde. Students from overseas are given priority to what are reasonably priced rooms and flats. The accommodation both on and off campus varies from residences with catering provided to self-catering residences and flats. The allocation of accommodation depends on the student's needs, with mostly shared facilities for single students.
The standard of the accommodation at the university is comfortable, I would say. And you had the basic facilities are there. You got your cooking utensils, the cooker, the freezer are all given to you. It's very convenient. In short, you feel it's like at your own home or at your own place.
In recent years, the university has begun to satisfy the demand for self-contained accommodation for married students.
The area is very secure. You don't need to worry about anything. And it's a nice flat, clean, and the accommodation office is very helpful to us. Yeah, they considered our situation that we are going to have a child, so they gave us another flat with 2 rooms. Yeah, and it's in the same area. Yeah.
So that we don't need to worry about moving to another far area and then be away from the city center, which is quite good actually.
25 minutes from the city centre is Castlemilk, where the university has new student accommodation especially suited to students with families.
But as soon as I came into Castlemilk and stayed for about 2 weeks, I felt that this was a good place, and I turned the request for this place. And so I was offered a flat here. And then I rang my family, and they came a month later, and we've just been here since then.
Well, the families have been friends, and we can nip in and out of each other's homes, and we babysit for each other, and we have we always meet together. And it has been quite nice because we haven't had time to feel lonely. and we are friends.
I think the standards are very good, and the university really tries to accommodate you, although they can't quite cope to accommodate all married students, when they just arrive because of the waiting list. But when you get, the accommodation, it is very good,
The university campus lies at the heart of Glasgow's thriving city centre. This allows easy access to shops, leisure and entertainment. The helpfulness and friendliness of Glasgow's people encourages students to feel welcome in their new home.
The people of Glasgow is very hospitable, and the first time when I'm here, I had some problems with the streets. You just need to ask them, they would gladly help you to show the streets. Even if they don't know the streets, they would ask their friends and tell you the directions.
I remember just moving into a shop in Glasgow, and I was just looking for a shoe. I had another a colleague of mine, and as we were just looking at the shoes, somebody just came and whispered behind me and said, "There's another shop just next door which is selling cheaper." And that was really quite something for somebody to have been concerned about my paying the right amount for a better shoe next door.
Glasgow is a nice city. You have to find the place yourself to go and see them. And, well, so many nice places to go and see. And you can keep yourself busy all the time if you just go and find out what to do. Yes.
The name Glasgow means dear green place, and with over 70 parks and hundreds of trees and green spaces, the city certainly lives up to its name. Glasgow is also the home of some of the finest art collections in Europe.
You find that there are lots of cultural activities going on in the city that you can actually participate. So you find you'll not be lonely, or it's not a dull place to live in at all.
The thing which we found that it's very difficult here, the climate, the weather. It's cold, yeah. Sometimes you can't find the sun for 1 week.
It's a question of getting used to it. And after some time, I think 1 or 2 months, you'll find that it's cool, and it's very conducive to study anyway, if you come to Scotland and study.
Then the Indian community.
Regular social gatherings between different international societies are a chance for students to relax and mix.
The Nepalese.
I try to create a home away from home for the new students because it is not really easy, especially if you're coming to, I would say, a strange town for the first time. You have a lot of problems that confront you. So I see my role as trying to make it easier for them to settle in as fast as possible.
The university's international office runs an orientation program for new students. And prior to the beginning of term, an information center is set up to welcome newly arrived students, acquaint them with their new surroundings, and cope with any initial problems.
I've been chaplain for the overseas students for the last 3-year period. And my role is simply to make communication with all of those students from overseas, from all of the many countries that they come from, and all of their backgrounds, their religious backgrounds, irrespective whether they're Christian or Hindu, Muslim, whatever, and to give them a contact and an introduction to their own communities here in Scotland.
Glasgow, with its own indigenous ethnic communities, is able to provide religious facilities for almost all faiths.
I've been attending a church just behind the Baptist church. And all our friends, as they have come, we've introduced them to them, and the group has been very happy to meet Kenyans, and especially Christian Kenyans for that matter. So it's just been enjoyable. And of course, having a home here, they have just felt that they're coming to a home. So it's not been as strange as it was perhaps for us.
The various international societies allow students to find their own cultural expression and can make a student feel more at home.
First, he has to try and settle in. So that's a major problem. And secondly, then he has to think about where to get those things maybe he was used to back home from where he came from. As far as I'm concerned, Glasgow has everything for anybody. Well, the problem is you knowing where to get these things.
For example, as a Syrian and foreigner person here, I can find whatever I want regarding my food, international stuff, for example, Chinese, Mexican, or Arabian, Oriental stuff. You can find anything, so no problems here at all.
For those that misses some of the Chinese food, ingredients and spice, there's no problem getting them. There's a few Chinese supermarket in Glasgow where they sell most of these exotic the food stuff. So I would say you can get everything, more or less everything in Glasgow itself.
Oh, that's just beans and onions and a little bit of pepper and tomato.
Here at the International Night, traditional cuisine prepared by the different societies is being tasted by guests.
The international mix of students on campus is, I think, very, very encouraging. And I would say that Strathclyde University is very, very blessed to have representations from virtually all parts of the world. It's truly an international community. And we're exploiting that to enjoy ourselves and to thrill the university community by the activities, the kind of activities we have from time to time.
The university actually provide a very good sports facility over here. Like we got a gym here, which you could play squash, badminton, basketball, even a tennis game or indoor soccer. And for those that are more adventurous, you could actually join the athletic club where you could get sports like skiing, where during winter there's enough snow in the mountains, you could go for skiing, or you can do for parachuting, if you're more adventurous, and you could go for scuba diving, which they run courses to train you up. You don't have to be an expert in scuba diving or skiing. There are beginners course where they run beginners course to teach you all these various techniques of skiing, or likewise parachuting and so on. I think it has got very good facilities.
The university provides welfare services for all students, and its international office employs an overseas student advisor who is concerned with all aspects of the welfare of overseas students. The Students' Association and the Chaplaincy Centre also help in providing welfare support, and health care is provided by the National Health Service. Communications are excellent, with good rail, road and air links to the rest of the country. London is 1 hour away by air and 5 by rail. Living in Glasgow provides an excellent opportunity to visit some of the most beautiful scenery in the world, especially the Highlands and Islands of Scotland.
This is my 3rd year here. This is our 3rd year. Everybody's adjusted, we've made friends, and my 6-year-old boy is in school. He's doing primary 2, and the other one goes, to a nursery school. So everybody's happy. The kids are Scottish now. It's as the adults who have to, adjust a bit and there. So, all of us have been very happy here.
It's the best place as far as I'm concerned, and I think I'll recommend that for anybody who wants to come over here. And more so, the people are very, very homely.
I was really impressed by the friendly place. That's what made me come here, mostly, apart from, the good department I am in.
I would encourage anyone that is thinking of coming to Strathclyde, to come. It's done me a lot of good. I'm sure it would do you a lot of good as well.
I think it's a good place for learning. Coming here itself, I think, is an education on its own, besides coming to the university.